After 4.5 years of growing out my locks and caring for them, I made a decision I literally never thought I would make. And I cut off all of my locks. And in this video, we're going to talk about why I did that, do I regret it, um, and just the whole tea behind it. So let's get right into it and let's address the elephant in the room. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to Becoming Cleo. I'm so excited that you are here. So, like I said earlier in the video, we are going to address the elephant in the room as to why I cut off all of my hair. This video is also going to be part life update as well, because the reason why I cut my hair also has a lot to do with my life and what's been happening. Also ties into why I have not been as active on this channel as I usually was. I have knotless boho braids, and we're not going to look too close. We're not going to get really into the details of the hair because I've had this hair in for a while and it's really starting to grow out, as you can see. And it's just been a minute, and I am doing my best. I'm trying to get my money's worth of this boho hair, because if you ever paid for boho knotless braids in this like small size, you know they're a little bit expensive, and I am going to wear this hair until the wheels fall off. I say all that to say, I feel like it doesn't look that bad. It just looks a little grown out, and I think it's still cute and it adds to the boho look. So on May 9th of 2026, I decided to cut off all of my hair and cut off all of my locks. And under these braids, I probably have about 3 to 4 inches of hair. I guess my hair, I would say, like stops here, if not shorter, because it's like 2 to 4 inches across my entire head. And this is not an idea. This is not something that happened sporadically or something to where I was like, I randomly just woke up one day and decided to cut my hair off. This is something that I put a lot of thought and effort into. And so for me, the first reason that I would say why I decided to cut off my hair is that I had been thinking about it for about a year to a year and a half. And I wasn't specifically thinking about cutting off my hair, but I was flirting with the idea of not having locks anymore. If I'm thinking about something consistently and I'm thinking about something for over a year, let alone over a few weeks or a few months, it's obviously something that I want to do, and it's obviously something that I feel called to do. And so because this was a decision that I have thought about across like 2025 to, I guess, May of this year, I decided that it was finally time to cut off my hair. And so I went on TikTok to find a braider, but not just any braider. I really wanted to find a braider that could grip short hair, because I knew that I was not going to have a lot of hair once I cut off my locks. I pretty much, I would say, like, unofficially decided that something's going to be different with my hair of August of 2025, because that's when I got my last retwist. And from August to May, I had been growing out my hair with the intention to either A, cut it off, or the intention to be comb them out. So subconsciously, I guess I felt like this time was coming, and I just wanted to make sure that I gave myself enough time to grow out my hair a little bit so I could get braids. Because if y'all know, I've talked about this before on this channel, I had short hair in 2019. That was the only time I ever had short hair, and it just, I feel like it doesn't fit me. And so I knew that if I was actually going to cut my hair, that I needed to have some type of length where I could braid it up, because y'all are about to see me in braids or some kind of style until my hair gets at least a little bit longer, like maybe to my ear, because I just don't love how I look in short hair. So I still have to say, this is an idea that I had for a very long time, and I felt like it was finally time to make a decision to cut off all my hair. And if it was between cutting my hair and combing my locks out, I literally tried to comb out, I think I combed out about like 20 locks last year, and I just knew that I was not meant for that life. It was so hard to comb them out. One lock took me like 30 minutes, and I was just like, this is not fun, and this is not something that I enjoy. One, I have too much hair and way too many locks to be sitting here combing it out myself. Two, I also felt like, yeah, I could ask my friends to do it, but I genuinely hated doing it. That's not something that I would have wanted to ask them to do, because it was not a fun experience. And then three, all the prices that I saw for actually combing out your locks were really expensive, and I felt like it just, at that rate, it just made more sense to cut them off. So that's why I decided to do that route instead of the combing out. Like I said, this is not a new idea, and on top of that, I recently turned 30 years old, and I knew, I would say, like, from the time I was like 27 or 28, that I wanted to look and feel different as I enter into this new decade. of being 30. So I've only been 30 for like 2 weeks now, but I feel like I look different. And I did have these like boho braids in when I was 29, but I guess it's like something different compared to like me having locks. Like it still feels like I don't look the same. I don't know if I'm really like making sense when I say that, but it's just a different feeling. And I do feel like when I got my locks in my mid 20s, I can't remember how old I was. I was between 24 and 26. I felt like every year I was looking different because I was going throughout the different stages of like your locks maturing. Like, of course, when your locks first start, they're twist. And then essentially they lock up, they have to fall, they have to drop. I was also dyeing my hair. And so I felt like within that time frame, I was looking and feeling like a different person because my hair was also reflective of that. But then once my locks matured and then I decided to like stop dyeing them, I was like, I don't necessarily feel like I look different anymore. And that's just like a feeling, a personal feeling that I wanted to have um, in my 30s. Although I feel like they're similar to braids because even when I saw my friends here, they didn't even notice that I didn't have locks anymore because this is still like a structured style in the sense where like you have parts, you've got like braids slash locks or whatever that they kind of described it as like a seamless transition from like braids to locks. So I don't know. I really wanted to look different and to feel different. Now, the real reason, and I would say like the catalyst that actually made me decide to go through with cutting my hair, was that the beginning of this year and January and February were extremely rough and just like tumultuous months for me. At the end of January, my grandmother passed away, and then at the end of February, my father unexpectedly passed away. And so having two major back-to-back losses like that really rocked my world and just like shook up a lot of things for me that I felt like the only conclusion that I could come to was to start over. And to start over in the sense of like cutting off my hair would be this way of like releasing all of this heaviness and all of this energy. And then also, right after it happened, I remember looking at pictures of myself and just feeling like I didn't look like myself. I guess it was almost like a disassociation. And I think that just has to do with like the trauma of it all happening and the grief because my grandmother was my first major loss in my life. And then my father was also the next major loss. And had this happening like less than a month apart, it just made me, I guess I would say, kind of disassociate from like myself. I think cutting off the hair was a way to just like start over, start fresh, and to kind of just like build from the beginning again. And when I say like disassociative in the sense where I didn't look like myself, it's because I really didn't have like the time to really just like sit with what was happening or to process what was happening because they both happened so quick back to back. And also, I was also a different person just naturally because my life had changed in such a drastic way so quick. I don't know. I feel like I'm not explaining this in the best way, but if you've ever experienced like loss or grief in your life, I feel like you can probably relate and understand what I'm talking about. Like, once that happens in your life, not only are you different, but your life is completely different. And this normalcy or like this baseline that you once had doesn't exist anymore. And you kind of have to operate new baseline in this completely different world without the people that were once in it. So it's like you spend 29 years of your life not necessarily being the same person, but you know, you have the same people in your life and then one day you just don't. So it's kind of jarring. I hope that makes sense in me explaining it to you guys. I usually have like a script written down, but I wanted this to be more like a FaceTime kiki where we're like talking about it. Also, grief is just really heavy. It's a heavy feeling, and also on top of that, my hair was also quite literally really heavy. So I know some of y'all watching this are probably like, why didn't you just change your hair or do all these like different styles? Like, you know, Chloe and Hatley be switching it up. It's because my hair was heavy. I could not wear my hair any way except down. Even when I were like pull it back like this, it would hurt. Half up, half down, it would hurt. Even if the ponytail or like the hair tie is loose, it would hurt. My locks were just extremely heavy, and I think that I also had too many on my head for like my head size or for like the density. I'm not exactly sure like the logistics behind it, but I just felt like I just felt like I was very limited in what I could do. And because of that, I did not see a way in which I could switch it up. Like, yeah, I could have added hair. I could have done like a half wig or something. I also am a DIY girly when it comes to doing my hair, so I don't have those skills. And also just wasn't trying to learn those skills, but also was just extremely discouraged because my hair was heavy. Can't remember like when exactly, but last year my hair was literally like, it might have been like at the top of my lower back, and then it was summertime and I cut it to my shoulders, and then I felt like, okay, this is a new look. I got the bob, I'm like grown and whatnot, but ultimately as my hair kept growing, I was like, there's no way I'm just going to keep cutting this hair. It's just going to have to go. And the last reason that I cut off my hair is because I felt like the knotless boho braid bust down was quite literally calling my name. I have never had braids. Well, that's a lie. I've had braids once in my life, but they were the like thick and chunky box braids, and I had them when I was like 12 or something like that. So this is only my second time ever having braids in my life. Before I locked my hair, like I said, I'm a DIY girly. I can't really braid, and so I would have a lot of twists. I'd have Marley twists. I think I had like Senegalese twists. I had a lot of different types of twists, but I had never had like the boho knotless bust out. And then also the boho knotless wasn't like really a thing back in the day, like how it is now. Like I feel like I had heard about it back then, but it wasn't as popular. And so now that it's like become this popular style, it's just something that I also really wanted. And I feel like I just look really good in it. Like, I don't know. I love the boho knotless. I've had this hair for almost 3 months, and I fear that I'm just not coming up off this hair until I absolutely have to. I'm just gonna keep going and keep doing what I do with it, because I feel like it still looks good to me. And if it starts to look a little bit, less good, we'll just put a little headband on and we'll call it a day and we'll keep it moving. So pretty much those are all the reasons that I cut my hair. I guess I basically sum it up to the locks were heavy and I was very limited in what I could do. I wanted to cut my hair, had thought about it for a really long time. Grief just changed the person that I am. The boho knotless was calling me, and yeah. Now, as far as like regrets, do I have regrets in cutting my hair? I don't. I don't at all. When she cut my hair, the lady that braided my hair also cut it. And when she cut it, I just felt like this is happening. I was just like, oh, this is crazy. But once I saw like the locks on the ground, and once I saw that I had no hair, I really had like no crazy or like interesting feelings towards it. I was really just neutral. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I have no hair. And that was kind of it. So I wouldn't say that I regret it. I feel like it was the best decision for me at the time. I did save my locks in case I want to reattach them. I don't think that I'll reattach them, but I do have them saved just in case I change my mind about that. Also, I feel like another question that I'll probably get is, will I ever have locks again? The answer is yes. I do feel like I want to have locks again. I definitely am not excited to be a loose natural. Like, I'm not excited to take these braids out, wash and style my hair. This is like similar to having locks to me in the sense where I keep these in 2 braids all week, and then at the end of the week, or if I'm going out, I just do a little comb on it, and then I just like wear them like this. But it's very low maintenance in terms of like what I have to do. And so I am really enjoying and appreciating not having to do my hair how I would if I was just like a loose natural without this protective style. And so I say all that to say, I think I'll have locks again, but I think I'll have them again later in life, maybe like when I'm in my 50s or something. But no time soon. I kind of just want to like explore and enjoy having my hair as is and just play around with different styles that I wasn't able to do before. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys why I decided to cut my hair, because I do intend to keep posting on this channel. And I intend to like be more consistent and to come back and to just like share more with you guys and talk more with you guys. But I also wanted to address this because I have created lock videos. Some of my lock videos have done really well in the past, and I do thank the lock community for that. At the same time, before I started this page, I was also very mindful and very intentional about not making this like a lock specific page, because I want people to rock with me because they rock with me, like me because they like me, and not have it be tied to my hair. I'm no longer part of the lock community, at least not right now. I also don't have no hair under this. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything you want to talk about now that I'm back, please leave them below. I would love to talk to you guys more. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.